If anyone asks me what is the beauty of performing, I would say it's the moment. When you perform, you are not just showing your skill, your music, your talent, but also you show your emotion and feeling at that moment. And you have only one shot to do it. There's no going back. So the question here is, how do you feel when you perform? What is your emotion when you perform? Some people are feeling extremely confident, positive, and in the meanwhile, some other feel nervous, horrified, or even got blackout and forgetting the piece that they were playing. All of these emotions and feeling adding many important elements to performing art, which is risk, thrill, feeling high when you have a successful performance, when you feel like you are the star on the stage, feeling down and disappointed when you have a bad performance. What we can do here is just to prepare ourselves the best. Many times people ask me that if you're performing so much, are you still getting nervous when you're on stage? Well, to tell you the truth, everyone, every musician, or speakers, or any performing artist, they all get nervous being on stage. It's just how you deal with it, how much experience you have, and how you turn it into a positivity. All we can do is just to prepare ourselves very well. My name is Thule, and I'm very excited today coming back for another topic video to share with you about concert and stage and to answer all of your questions. Most of the questions from my audience on YouTube is about nervousness and stage fright when you perform. So here the question from Danielle: how do you prepare psychologically for the performance? When I'm practicing alone, my playing is much better than when I try to play in front of others. When I'm put on the spot by my teacher, sometimes I forget the entire song I was supposed to be practicing for a week. Do you have any mental exercise or advice for dealing with this problem? Another question from Harry. Hi Thu, I've been playing now for the last 50 years or so, and I still get nervous playing in front of anybody. So, to answer this question, I would put it into 3 different stages. The first one is, why do we get nervous? We get nervous because we can. Because it's something very important and meaningful to us. It's the same like when you are going out for your first date, thinking about meeting your boyfriend or girlfriend for the first time. It's, yes, exciting and very happy at the same time, but then at the same time you're so nervous because it means a lot to you. So yes, in this case, nervousness is the good thing to have because you care. What happens when you get nervous? When you get nervous, your heart beats faster, your hands shaking. Sometimes you don't even feel like the fingers are touching the string. Some people have sweaty hands, some people the hand just getting frozen and ice cold, and you can't think straight. And what happens when you are nervous? When your heart beating so fast, also your movement is like out of tempo. You tend to play faster, even though you don't mean it. And then, of course, nothing is clear. All the preparation for months, for weeks, or even for years of some pieces that you are so looking forward, and now is the time, now is the moment to show it, and everything seems like broken apart. And even worse with some people, when you get so shaky and nervous that you got blackout and eventually you just forget everything and you just stop. How to get over the nervousness? Will the stage fright ever go away? No, it never goes away. You just have to deal with it better, to learn from the experience. And believe me, even the most famous musician on earth would get nervous on stage. The more famous they are, the bigger responsibility they have, because they know that people would expecting more from them. The thing is how to practice to get over it and to deal with the nervousness better. Well, most of my students, they only practice the playing, but they don't practice performing. So the key here is you have to practice performing. Don't wait until you have a proper concert organized by some proper organization. Always create every chance, every opportunity to perform. For a group of friends, for your family members, recording yourself, watching the video, because when you record, you also have the same kind of pressure that you have to play the piece properly through until the end. So that adding a lot for your practice performing. Also, don't always just sit in your room or your practicing area to practice. Create different practice environment, because if you're so used to one corner, your stage could be anywhere, could be any country, could be any kind of crowd, could be light, could be dark. So like for me, I would take my guitars wherever I go, to holiday, to a weekend getaway, to an outdoor area when it's nice weather, even to the park where people pass by and look. So what I try to train is to be in different environment, and still I must concentrate on my practicing. So that is already a very practical method to practice on your concentration. And of course, another very important thing to prepare well for the concert and get over the nervousness is just to know that you know the piece well, you know the music you're playing well. Doesn't matter how many times, how many years you already play it, always go back and play it very slowly. We talk about it in the practice topic video already. When you practice slowly, you can pay attention at every small detail, and you are learning the piece actually with your mind, with your brain, but not just with your muscle memory. So what happened on stage, when we are so nervous, we have so much concentration, you actually, or when your fingers are shaking, the muscle memory doesn't work well anymore. But if you have the good memory in your mind, then you still can put the piece together. Even if you make mistake, you can continue from there and continue the piece to avoid stop completely, or if you go back from the beginning, like to exactly the same point, you forget again. So practice slowly is the best preparation to avoid forgetting or to get over the nervousness on stage. So these are the same thing that I'm talking now is also to answer the question of Chan's talk. How did you deal with the pressure from the audience and master the accidents caused by mistake or distraction? Well, as I said, practice slowly is the best method, I would say, to deal over the mistake. So even if you make mistake, even if you stop, you can continue by knowing your position, knowing the next note that you are playing. And also another method, if you can, is to practice without the guitar. So just holding the music score and read the notes and imagine how would you play it on your left hand and your right hand. So I found this extremely difficult too, even after many years of practicing. You could do it anywhere, when you are on the train, on the bus, or sitting somewhere without the guitar. So just visualize the note, the position of your hands on the guitar. Question from Mobina. I find it really hard to perform in the crowd. I feel stressed and my hands might be shaking at the time of playing. So it would be hard for me to perform. What can I do about it? Well, shaking hands because you're nervous, because you cannot control your muscle. As I all mentioned above, you can try to apply this. And also another important thing that I would do before my performance or while performing in between the piece is taking time to take a deep breath. As we all know, if you do a meditation or yoga, you know best how important it is to take deep breath, because it's really relax all your muscle and help you to control your hands and your fingers better. Another tip that I have for you during the performance is don't play one piece right away next to another immediately. Take your time in between the piece. Let the audience clap, stand up and bow. Speak a few things to the audience if you want, because all of this physical movement help you also to relax your bodies, relax your hand, relax your mind, and also to help the audience to have some space between the piece. The music of the next piece will be better. And then the moment you sit down to start the next piece, don't play right away. For me, I always like to just close my eyes, look at the left hand, or just close my eyes and concentrate in one point, thinking about the first few bars of the next piece that you want to play. What is the hand position, what tempo you want to start. Because sometimes when you don't prepare for the next piece and you just sit and play right away, you might realize that it's too fast and it's already too late to fix. So it's important to have the space in between the pieces and to prepare, mentally for the next piece. Question from Mescal. When you are in concert, do you do anything special in regards to your focus and concentration while on stage? As we all know that when we practice, when we perform, we need to focus, we need to concentrate. But focus and concentrate is a word that easy to say, but it's really difficult to do, and it doesn't just come immediately on stage when you decide to. It also comes with training. So importantly here is when you practice, you also have to train to focus and concentrate. My way of training is, the mind is a tricky thing. Sometimes you decide to concentrate, it just drives you somewhere else, right? And when you practice, it's okay, but when you're on stage, that is exactly how accident happen. So what I do here is when I play anything, let's say in this bar, I would think right away, immediately, just the next bar. So try to think about the sound, what you would hear, where your fingers would go. Just write the next bar, the next few notes. And this also have to be done with training regularly, not just when you're on stage. What I also do a lot is to create a routine before each piece, as I said before in the previous question, that always make space in between pieces. When you start a new piece, don't just sit and play right away. Give your mind, give your brain few seconds before to imagine. You can close your eyes, imagine trying to hear the sound of the first few notes, where your finger will start, what tempo you want to start. And that is already a very good and stable beginning of a piece. And as we all know, the beginning is very important because it builds the spirit and the motivation for the whole piece. So if you do it right from the beginning, it will have less chance of accidents later.